What's going on, crypto family? This is Sean coming back at you. This is a little bit of unorthodox video. I'm laid back, I'm chilling, I'm sitting in spot. I'm not worried about any type of leverage blowups. Some people lost a lot of money over the past week, and people lost their minds, and there's a lot of fear in the market. And we understand. That's why the Bitcoin bros always say, don't be too overexposed in leverage. That's not the way to go. Sitting in spot and chilling. We understand that there's a lot of opportunity to, hit a 5x and appreciate Bitcoin in a 5, 10, 20, 50x, depending on your leverage ratios. But the point is when you're just dollar cost averaging, strengthening your position, always looking at the market from the lens of not what it's doing over the next month or two, but looking out years and seeing where this market's going, you'll have a better understanding of the crypto space, but also it'll help you it'll help you with your long-term thesis. But peace of mind is the most important thing in these markets, because if you're over levered, you can blow an account. We've heard some unfortunate stories as of late. A lot of people taking their life because they lose everything within seconds. Trump came out and we seen that he, issued the 100% tariff on China. He doubled down on it. Markets dumped. We've seen the biggest dump. I think it was up to like $20 billion that got liquidated, longs and shorts. So understand that, peace of mind, this market is sitting in spot. That's sort of like a semi-black swan event. Even though markets didn't fully tank, we could see a recovery. We did see a bounce back up since that pullback, but over $20 billion in liquidations, or up to $20 billion, the biggest in crypto history. So once again, there's a lesson to take away from this. Sit in spot. If you're overly greedy and you haven't got to that one Bitcoin yet, that's okay. Keep grinding, keep stacking, but ask yourself, instead of getting rich quick, trying to use leverage, using a lot of risk. There's no risk management sometimes because greed controls these markets. But the thing to ask yourself is, how can I add more value to the world so you can stack more sats faster? Whether that be start a business to generate more revenue. If you're working a job, how can you optimize that job? Any means of promotion, whatever you're doing to make money on a daily basis, how can you optimize that? Whether it be a side hustle, another side hustle. If you're in the States, there's a lot of different avenues you can do. If you just want to make a few $100s extra a week, DoorDash, Uber Eats, not saying to do that, but there's a lot of easy hustles that you can get started with. But my point is if you are trying to jump the gun and get to 1 Bitcoin or 5 Bitcoin, 10 Bitcoin, whatever your goal is, point is how can you increase your value to the world? Because if you can increase your value, whether that be the knowledge you have, whether that be the services you're offering, whether that be products you're selling, how can you expand your customer base? Going that much harder to build that business, build that brand, to expand your reach. That is how you're going to increase your value add to the world. But then also you can then turn around and stack more sats even faster. Leverage is not the way to go. Most traders aren't profitable. And even the ones that are profitable still take big losses. But they are very expert at risk management. This is not just an investment game when you're talking about leverage. It's also a mental game. You got to have an understanding of what a margin call is. You have to understand ratio. You have to understand risk ratios, risk reward ratios. You got to understand, when news is coming out. The stuff that has happened with Trump, that's something that nobody could predict. And your life is worth a lot more than $1. So whether that's $10, $10 million, it doesn't matter. Taking your life is not worth it. Go out, touch grass, do whatever you have to do, clear your mind. Don't get too overconsumed in these markets. Now, we're going to give you a few updates today. Once again, if you guys like this format, give us some feedback. But check out this chart here. This is the Bitcoin chart here, but this isn't in US dollar value. This is in gold. You see that there? It's XAU. So you see similarities from back in 2021, 2022, when we put in a higher low and lower low, and this was going into a bear market. And right now, we sort of broke this trend. Now, we haven't put a lower low in yet because we do see that there is, potentially an opportunity to get back above this trend line. Now, it looks like we did have a bump and run pattern. A back test of the lower bound, and now we're seeing like we're falling down. Could this mirror back in 2021, 2022? We'll give you this quick update from Scott Bessent, that's U.S. Treasury Secretary, and he's talking about the United States is going big on crypto. Check out this quick clip.
Going big on digital assets. So Trump administration has made digital assets a priority. Past administration starved and almost made extinct a lot of these companies and pushed them offshore. So what we want to do is apply the highest U.S. regulatory and AML standards to digital assets.
So regulatory clarity, regulatory measures, and going all in the digital space is happening behind the scenes with this current administration. So where does this tell you this space is going? Could we get a bear market in 2026, 2027? Eventually a bear market will come, guys. So don't think that there's never going to be a bear. It's just these cycles, the 4-year cycles, could be drastically changing in some time. So keep that in mind. Are we going to get this blow off top? Is it going into a bear market right now? Could we bottom out by the end of 2026 if the peak was around 125,000? That's all in the realm of possibility. There's also the other side of the coin to where we could actually see an extended cycle. We have to wait and be patient because we're not confirmed yet. So, we're just going over a few things. We showed you what Scott Bessent just said, the United States government, and where this space is headed. Whether it's heading there next year or over the next 5 years, there's an opportunity. There's an opportunity for you to strengthen your position and continue to dollar cost average in. Right now, the big boys have showed up. We've showed you how strategies, got up to about 650,000 Bitcoin. And there's Bitcoin treasury companies around the world that are steadily stacking sats and outpacing the supply of the issuance of Bitcoin before you have the opportunity to even buy. Exchanges buy from the OTC market. Understand that. So they're buying from miners. Coinbase has a set supply of Bitcoin that it owns. So what happens when right now we have a few hundred companies that are buying globally, and they're continuing to buy, and institutions don't buy for the short term, they're buying long term. So when you have that with a few hundred companies, what happens when that does a 10x? What happens when you see a big player like Apple come into the game? What does that do with not just the fear of missing out, but the supply of Bitcoin? The supply of Bitcoin would shrink even further, meaning that's going to be that much harder to get to one Bitcoin. So if you're not there yet, don't lose sight, keep going hard, and understand that just because of the fear in the market, with this tariff talk, and there's, Bitcoin treasuries, we've seen an implosion there. A lot of Bitcoin treasuries have had an 80-90% pullback over the past few months. So with all of this noise, it's the biggest opportunity that could be presenting itself in the years to come. So once again, if you guys like this format, it's going to be something new. We're switching it up again. Aaron might do it. I'm going to do it now. I'm kicked back. I'm chilling. I'm kicked back, stacking sats, And once again, Sean with the Bitcoin Bros. You guys like this content, go ahead and smash the like button. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, we appreciate each and every one of you. With that, I'm out.